Money in the Bank has come and gone, and I can tell you one thing for sure. I have no idea what the hell I just watched. I don't know if this was wrestling, I don't know if this was a dramatic TV show, I'm not sure. But without further ado, man, let's talk about Money in the Bank. What's up, everybody? It's the Sports Code, aka Aiden, and welcome back to another video. Money in the Bank, man. The pay-per-view just finished, and to be honest, I mentioned this in the preview. I have no idea what I watched, especially the last match. The Money in the Bank matches for both the men and the women was something beyond belief. I couldn't believe what I was watching. I don't know if this was wrestling or this was just some comedy TV show. I don't know what it was, but that's what I really want to talk about. So before we get started, please like and subscribe, turn notifications on. If this is the first time you know of me, I do pay-per-view reactions for the WWE. So Money in the Bank obviously is a pay-per-view, so therefore I'm giving my reaction. But of course, The Undertaker Last Ride, a documentary is coming out, if it's already out, the first episode. So I'll try and give my review on that as quickly as possible. Of course, with the MJ documentary as well, that's also out today. So there's a lot of content to go over. But without further ado, man, let's get into this. I'm going to try and go as quickly as possible throughout this entire match card because I really want to get to that Money in the Bank match, man. That's where everything started kicking off. So let's get into it. So obviously the pre-show, I didn't really watch the pre-show. I wasn't awake. I wasn't present to watch it. But I believe it was Cesaro versus Jeff Hardy. Again, I don't want to comment on something I didn't watch because that wouldn't be fair to the individuals in it. If I had to take a guess who won, I would say Jeff Hardy won the match because it's technically his in-ring return, which I know he returned a few weeks ago against Baron Corbin. So that doesn't mean anything to me, really, his in-ring return. We've already seen him return. But I think it's a good way to start the rivalry off against Sheamus if he did win, and we'll just leave it at that, really. So the next match, and this is the Money in the Bank, the start of the pay-per-view itself, The New Day versus the Lucha House Party versus Miz and John Morrison versus the Forgotten Sons. Now, this match, again, it was a decent match, man. I'm not going to lie, it was a decent match, but it didn't grab my attention like the other matches that we saw. And I don't know what the reason was. Maybe because I kind of had a feeling that the New Day was going to easily win this match. Predictability, maybe, but I'm not sure. But this match, it seemed like a standard match to me. There was very good talent involved here, and the way that they won the match was pretty good as well. But I don't know, there was just something about this match that didn't open my eyes and feel the excitement, the hype, the capabilities that I know these guys have. So again, it was a decent match. I'm not going to say it was anything above the ordinary. Fatal 4-way tag team matches, we tend to see this a lot in this era of tag teams because they're just trying to promote as many tag teams as they can. Plus, there's not a whole lot of tag teams that WWE have left, so why not put them all in a tag team match? And the New Day won, man. The New Day won comfortably, I would say, and they're still the tag team champions. Right move. They just won the title, so why let them lose it straight away? But I'm excited to see what happens with Miz and John Morrison, to be honest. That's the only thing I was thinking about. What's their future going to be? Because I don't know, man. Maybe John Morrison goes into singles wrestling. I'm looking forward to that. And The Miz as well. Maybe, I don't know. We'll see. Next up, and I don't know what this was. So, Bobby Lashley versus R-Truth. So originally this is meant to be MVP. MVP comes in. R-Truth trolling the crowd because there wasn't a crowd. He say what's up and all this and no reaction. It was that was good editing by WWE, you know, good by R-Truth as well. And then MVP, I don't know, he's teaching me about basketball, 6-pointers and whatever. Just being a troll, really, R-Truth. And MVP said, I'm going to teach you a lesson. And Bobby Lashley comes out, and that's MVP's lesson to R-Truth. Don't mess with MVP because you're going to get Bobby Lashley. That's basically the lesson. And finally, Bobby Lashley got a win, a dominant win. R-Truth is not the best caliber of wrestler to beat, but he beat R-Truth, man, and he finally got a win. He finally looked dominant, and I want to see more out of Bobby Lashley. I want to see WWE use him more. I want to see a title shot. I want to see him win some titles, man. I don't like him borderline close to getting fired pretty much because they're not using him correctly at all. And we all know the talent that he has. We've seen it in other companies, but it's just not being used here. And I hope WWE can change that and turn that around. And that's all I can say, man. I hope that it happens because Bobby Lashley is a talent that's going to waste, and you can't let that happen, man. You genuinely can't. Anyway, yeah, Bobby Lashley beats R-Truth. It is what it is. Dominant match. Nothing to say really about it. It wasn't a bad match. It was just there, I guess. Yeah, and we'll move on. So Bayley and Sasha Banks versus Tamina. Oof, this match was decent, to be fair. This was a fairly good match. Tamina, when I see Tamina in the ring, it's borderline. It's usually a decent match, but I would say there's a lot of botches in there. But there wasn't many this time around, and I think everybody played their part very, very well here. I definitely think between the three matches, this was the best one that was happening so far, and yeah, I would say I'm happy, man. And Bayley ended up retaining through a Sasha Banks interruption. Tamina was chasing Sasha Banks around the ring, ended up picking up Bayley to go for a Samoan drop. Bayley ends up just hooking the arms and dragging her down. 1, 2, 3. Bayley retains. And the friendship is still alive between Sasha Banks and Bayley. But again, it's getting worse and worse. The one thing I have to say, not necessarily about the match, because the match was fine in my eyes, but it's the story. What I need to say about the story is they cannot make this too long to the point where people are going to don't care anymore. I think this is what happened last time. The turn, whoever's going to turn, Bayley or Sasha, whoever it is, they need to do it the perfect time, because if they wait too long, no one's going to care. And I feel like this is the second coming of that rivalry, and we have to make sure we get it right. So, in terms of nothing happening this pay-per-view, I'm fine with that. I think it can go on a little bit longer, but they cannot extend it beyond SummerSlam. They can't extend it to WrestleMania. There's cracks in the relationship now. Work with it now, and you'll get the best outcome, in my opinion. And yeah, look, and Sasha Banks is an incredible worker. So if it was me, I'd make her the heel. But we'll see, man. Anything can happen. And at the end of the day, things are turning towards Sasha Banks turning on Bayley. But WWE can always pull a fast one and make Bayley attack Sasha for whatever reason. We've all seen this before, man. This is WWE. Anything can happen. And yeah, it was a good match. Next up, very interesting. Braun Strowman versus Bray Wyatt. We didn't get the Fiend this time, and there's a good reason why. So, of course, Braun Strowman and Bray Wyatt had a decent match as well. They're incredible workers. They put on a match that suited both of their styles really well. Bray Wyatt looked like an incredible high flyer in this match with those DDTs off the turnbuckle and everything. And I want to skip to the ending of the match because the match itself was physical. It was hard fought. Sister Abigail's kicked out of. It was a good Universal title match. I'm happy with that match. But at the end of the match, when Bray Wyatt kicks Braun Strowman out of the ring or punches him out of the ring, the Braun Strowman ends up getting up wearing the black sheep mask and basically fooling Bray Wyatt into believing that he's coming back home. He's coming back to the Wyatt family. They're going to show him how to be special, how to be like the Fiend, I would assume was the message. And Bray Wyatt believed it, and Braun Strowman played him like a fiddle, took off the mask, puts it on the ground, stomps on it, power slams Bray Wyatt, 1, 2, 3. Bray Wyatt loses, and Braun Strowman gets a successful retain, which I think this is the right move, because if we got the Fiend in this match and Bray Wyatt had to lose, this would look extremely bad on him. I'm happy that didn't happen. I'm happy we got Bray Wyatt, and I'm happy Bray Wyatt lost here. And I think there was a lot of rumors that Bray Wyatt wanted to lose anyway to Braun Strowman. And this was a good start to, I hope, in a fantastic rivalry. I'm intrigued because now at the end of the match, you saw little Fiend screenlets showing that the Fiend is coming for Braun Strowman now, because it's a good story, to be fair, because you're thinking about Braun Strowman, right? And how basically the Fiend goes after everybody that has betrayed Bray Wyatt. And in that match, we saw we saw a circumstance where Bray Wyatt was betrayed by Braun Strowman, and that's now the Fiend's coming to get him, and that's a very interesting concept to have in a match, and it's great storytelling. I really enjoyed that, and the match was good itself, and I think these guys can do even better, and that's why they're gonna wait. They're gonna have a last man standing match. They're gonna have these no holds barred matches. They might even have another Firefly Funhouse match, man. There's the possibilities are endless, and this is why Bray Wyatt and the Fiend, those characters, are such entertaining characters to watch, because you don't know what to expect, who they're gonna win to, who they're gonna lose. The possibilities are endless, and I think that's why creativity is always key in a wrestling pay-per-view and wrestling characters, man. So next match, and this was probably the match of the night for me in terms of the actual match, because Money in the Bank was just a madness. I don't know what that was, but Drew McIntyre versus Seth Rollins. This match was incredible. Again, hard hitting, kicks flying left, right, and center. Drew McIntyre was phenomenal in this match. Seth Rollins did very, very well. These two clearly have amazing chemistry in the ring. I really wish there were fans for this match, however, because I think that was the only thing that was making this match not as good as it could be, because there's no fans, there's no cheering, there's no "this is awesome", there's no "holy shits", there's nothing, no chance whatsoever, and that really affected the match in my opinion, because I was drawn to this match. My eyes were glued to the screen because I wanted to see every single thing that happened, and I genuinely didn't know if Drew McIntyre was going to win this match or not. I had a feeling, and I can always take a guess and say, of course, Drew McIntyre is going to retain. But deep down, you never really know, and that's why I wanted to see what would happen, and it was a fantastic match, man. And it ended up in Seth Rollins pretty much going for a stomp of Drew McIntyre powering out, giving the Glasgow kiss, which is basically a headbutt. Seth Rollins ends up kicking him to the ropes, and then Drew McIntyre with the Claymore. 1, 2, 3. It's over. Drew McIntyre retains the WWE Championship, and it was a fantastic match. Samoa Joe on commentary, bringing his own personal rivalry with Seth Rollins into the mix here, and warning the universe what happens when you got the best of Seth Rollins, pretty much. And it was an incredible match, and I really enjoyed it. I hope we can see more within these two, but something to, I don't know if this is going to be a face turn or not, but Seth Rollins and Drew McIntyre ended up shaking hands after the events of the match, and Seth Rollins actually accepted the handshake, which I didn't expect. I expected something to happen. I don't know if this is a manipulation scheme that Seth Rollins is starting, or he's genuinely going to turn face, which I think is very, very soon. I think he's doing a phenomenal job the way he is. But I honestly could not tell you guys what to expect from this. Again, they're leaving you wanting more. That's what WWE should be doing, and I want to know more. I want to know what's going to happen on Raw tomorrow night. I want to know what's going to happen with Seth Rollins. Who's Drew McIntyre's next opponent? Will the rivalry continue? Will Kevin Owens end up showing up? All these things, who knows? And that's the important question to ask. I'm looking forward to it, but 13 minutes in, and we still do not know what's happening with the Money in the Bank. And finally, with the worst entrances I've ever seen, the way they introduced everybody, basically letting them stand in a line. They're not allowed to fight yet. No. They're not allowed to fight yet. They're all going to stand in the line in front of an elevator or in a gym, and they're just going to look at each other and talk trash, man. That intro was incredibly ridiculous, but nevertheless, there's no real other way to introduce them. Basically, the concept of this new Money in the Bank match was to get from the bottom of the actual building to the top of the roof and reclaim the Money in the Bank contract, or capture the Money in the Bank contract. So I, for the life of me, won't be able to remember this, but I'm pretty sure the competitors were, for the women, it was Shayna Baszler, it was Auska, Lacey Evans, Carmella, Dana Brooke, Nia Jax. I believe that's it for the women. And for the men, it was AJ Styles, Aleister Black, Baron Corbin, Otis, Rey Mysterio, and I knew I would forget someone. Daniel Bryan, that was the one. I hope that's it. If I forgot anybody, I'm sorry. I'm sure I'll remember it when I talk about the match, because this was a madness. This was basically a comedy match, I would say. There was a lot of people in this match. In terms of throwbacks, you had Dude Love, or not Dude Love, Brother Love, coming in, taking a piss. Basically, Rey Mysterio watching someone take a piss, and he's saying, "Oh, I love you," and all of this, and you also had Doink the Clown coming in as well, Vince McMahon, John Laurinaitis. There was so much. So it started off with the women's one. They both happened at the same time, by the way. So the women's one basically started off with Auska jumping off of the next, from the level above into onto them, ends up taking the elevator up. I didn't see Auska pretty much the entire time since then. She basically took an elevator, and everybody else had to take the stairs. The men's one ended up starting off in the gym, where everybody was beating each other up in the gym, basic stuff. Baron Corbin threw a weight into the mirror and broke the mirror and the wall, and the way he looked was, I don't know what that was about. He looked like he's seen a ghost. I don't know if there was a meaning behind that cracked wall or not. If you guys know that, let me know. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what I saw. Maybe I missed something there. But yeah, it ended up all going on to they ran past the toilets, and that's where Brother Love came and trolled Rey Mysterio. Otis left the weights on AJ Styles, and it all kicked off. There was at the time they were all in like a mini wrestling ring, and Doink the Clown was behind the couch and all of this. Otis was basically doing everything in terms of of the comedy, screaming yes every time Daniel Bryan kicks Baron Corbin, to the point where he's throwing pies at people, man. He started the food fight. Paul Heyman was there starting a food fight, man. Oh my goodness. Brock Lesnar's coming for Otis for sure, bro. You can already tell. That's how this is going to end up being, bro. You don't just throw food at Paul Heyman and get away with it, man. It's as simple as that. You just don't do it. And you also had other things happening, like AJ Styles and Daniel Bryan fighting in Vince McMahon's room, and Vince McMahon just made them fear them. They had to stop fighting, clean up the room, the chairs, and they left, and then they continued fighting as soon as they left. Anyway, I'm rambling, man. You need to watch this match. There's so much more I haven't said. John Laurinaitis as well, with people power, gets a pie thrown to the face. They killed Rey Mysterio twice. Oh my goodness. When the food fight happened, basically Shayna Baszler started choking out Rey Mysterio. Don't know why. Just, the first person you see, you choke them out. And Nia Jax and Otis collided with each other, I believe, to basically kill Rey Mysterio. And Rey Mysterio's on the floor now. That's it. He's done. But not only that, as soon as he's revived, he's back alive, they throw him off the roof, man. They throw him off the roof. He's done, bro. It's GG. And Aleister Black got thrown off the roof as well. Oh my goodness, man. How are you going to just throw people off the roof like it's nothing? Off you go. See you later. It was ridiculous, man. For me, that was shocking and funny at the same time, man. The amount of times Rey Mysterio died in this match, it was crazy. But nevertheless, basically, when they both, when the females got onto the roof first with Baron Corbin, Auska was on top of the ladder. Baron Corbin wanted to get the men's, and Auska wanted to get the women's, but they kept interfering with each other, and then Auska just had enough and kicked him off the ladder, and Auska won the SmackDown Money in the Bank contract for the women, of course, which led the men, who still haven't got there yet. The men are very slow. You got to understand that, man. The women were clearly better in this match because they got there first. They were quicker. But Otis ended up getting there next, along with AJ Styles, Aleister Black, yada yada. Baron Corbin threw him off the roof. Basically, the ending of this match was Baron Corbin and AJ Styles were fighting for the Money in the Bank contract. They both hooked it off, but no one had complete possession of the Money in the Bank briefcase because they were both holding on to it. Elias comes in out of nowhere, hits him with a guitar. which was I didn't expect that, to be honest. How the hell is he getting to the roof before all of them? That's what I want to know. He's not even in the match. How does he even know where the Money in the Bank contract is? But he's there. He hits him with the guitar. AJ Styles has the possession, but he can't grab it with both hands. It slips out to Otis, who couldn't climb the ladder because he was just too big. Otis is your new Money in the Bank contract winner. He holds the briefcase up high. He's not on the ladder. He can't. And that's it. That was the Money in the Bank pay-per-view. Now, I'm sorry that I skipped through a lot of what happened in that match, but I have to recommend you go watch it. There is too much for me to fully say exactly what happened, man. This was a bizarre match. Even my family were walking in, and they're not big wrestling fans, and they don't know what the hell they were watching. And I didn't know what I was watching. It was just one of those things where I'm looking at the screen, and I'm smiling. I'm happy. I like the match. But I don't know what the match was. Like, I don't exactly know. So, would I recommend WWE doing this again? Maybe not for Money in the Bank matches, but definitely for the one-off singles match, or maybe I can't imagine what the Royal Rumble would be like if they had to do it. If you throw bloody 30 people off the roof, you win. Like, oh my goodness, that was comedy gold, this pay-per-view. So yeah. But besides that, man, that was the end of the pay-per-view. What do I think of the pay-per-view? To be honest, I thought it was bang average until the Money in the Bank matches, and of course Drew and Seth. This pay-per-view was pretty average in my opinion. If I had to give it a ranking, I would probably give it a C plus, maybe a B minus at best, because of course that Money in the Bank match, man, I have to stress it enough. That was an insane match, man. It was insane. It was funny. It made me smile, and that's what WWE should be doing to you at the end of the day. But I don't think it was anywhere near the WrestleManias, of course. And usually, Money in the Bank is a big pay-per-view. It felt like a big pay-per-view, but the matches beyond Money in the Bank was something to be left desired. And yeah, that's all I have to say. Do I recommend you go watch this pay-per-view? If you don't have time to watch this entire pay-per-view, at least watch the Money in the Bank matches. Watch Drew and Seth, because that's the best match besides the Money in the Bank matches. That was the best quality match, and it was probably the match of the night. But the Money in the Bank matches is where the money is for me. Anyway, I want to thank you all for watching. Please like and subscribe for more WWE pay-per-views, more content around WWE and other sports if you're interested. Turn notifications on and share the videos with your friends, man. This is how we can grow more WWE content coming, man. So stay tuned. I hope you can look forward to it. I hope you enjoyed this video. And leave a comment, man. Leave a comment on what you think about this pay-per-view. Money in the Bank, any pay-per-view, man. Let me know what you think this matches up or this compares. And also, I'm going to leave a poll up here. I want to know, did you prefer this style of Money in the Bank or the previous styles where it's actually in the ring? Because this Money in the Bank match, it's probably depending on the tastes of wrestling that you like. For me, I enjoyed it, but I can understand why people would not enjoy it, because it kind of takes a mockery out of the match in a little bit. But at the end of the day, this was a good match for me. I truly believe that. But let me know what you guys think. Anyway, have a wonderful and safe day. Take care and peace.